Game number 1 of North America against China. It is Smile against Falcons, and the Falcons coming into Prokhorovka with a singular 60TP, double IS-7, double FALCONS, and double CS-63.
Yeah, double CS-63 again. Seems to be popping up every now and then. Smile gone double 277, triple IS-7, double CS-63. So a bit of an interesting one.
Especially Sebastian rocking out the purple optics, the CVS, and the low noise exhaust, meaning full spotting build right now on that CS-63 of Sebastian. Only 2000 HP to boot. But that essentially is what I was talking about earlier today, is that CS-63 has completely replaced any kind of light tank on Prokhorovka at this point in time. Yes, it's sometimes still being picked, but that is mostly Copium as Robin with the first spotting run. Full combat lineup for him. Turbo HP rammer.
Well, funnily enough, didn't actually spot anything. So yeah, maybe it was down to the setup. Maybe it was down to the fact that Smile have got their tanks in the outskirts of the map. So the extremities is where Smile is headed for the moment. They're even set up for a little bit of a push over here from Falcon. Not that they're going to get that.
Yeah, Smile here now sending the IS-7s, yeah, double IS-7, OP and Doma on towards the hill. Vova already there, firmly established the control of that part of the map. But we can see Falcons currently pretty defensive on the east. Meanwhile, in the western part of it, on the 1-2 line, they do have the IS-7 established in the ditch that is Jiangshan. And now we can see some blind shots coming in from the team of Falcons on towards that 1-2 line, where they do suspect something. They're trying to hit those bushes. So far, no connections, or rather no penetrations. And Fender there in the back is going to be hard-pressed to hold, probably, as OP, the first one to get spotted in his IS-7. Humpity-dumpity over the hills, but he does make it without taking damage.
Yeah, Otto's going to be there to assist Fender if necessary. Ansha, where's that damage come from?
On the other side of the map completely. Ansha down towards 1000 HP. I think he was trying to do it into the dip, but an Ignite coming out by HR on towards the 277 of Fly here. All of those tanks, the spotting build on the CS-63 working beautifully.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what you've got to say is, like, in terms of the trade there, Ansha cops a huge amount of damage going into the bowl, but then there's the big response from Falcons, and it might actually end up looking kind of worth it, actually, for the defensive side, that exchange. So, all things considered, not too bad. I am still kind of interested in what's happening around the northeastern quadrant of the map, because obviously you've still got that double push coming through from Smile. Fender is trying to push off to Doma and OP Hacker at the moment. Otto up over the top in the Super Conk is going to try and help out. It's a Super Conk, double Super Conk against a double IS-7, and traditionally I think you would take double Super Conk there, but Fender seems to be copping the worst of it, and I'm not so sure about the focus fire there from Falcons, but they're doing okay for the moment. And Smile trying to push their way down the 1-2 line. This is just looking like all across the board it's going wrong for Smile.
Yeah, Smile realizing they're losing on the 7-8 line in the northeastern part of the map now feel hard pressure to push in towards the 1-2-3, but as they do send the tanks into the ditch, they lose so much HP that it should be hard for them to recuperate. Robin now coming in with that CS-63 is going to get the pickup onto OP Hacker to Doma. Amarak engine damage is not going to be faring much better, as Vova does pick up Fender as well, but that is 2-1 in the kill department. And look at the HP, ElFish.
Yeah, it's really a consolation prize at this point, isn't it? I guess Wooden Spoon prize actually almost seems like the name of the game for Smile. Lop and Fluky quite low in the bowl. I mean, look, to give credit to Smile, they're actually keeping the tanks relatively even though the HP deficit is just so huge, but sooner or later that is going to start to flip on its head as well. Smile, they've got a couple of tanks down to basically a one-shot, and beyond that, Fly's also looking a little bit worse for wear. Vova not hanging on with a whole lot, and Falcon 4 very healthy tanks. As long as Jiangshan avoids going down here and just tries to play safe in the dip, you're going to be seeing Falcon keep a pretty hefty tank advantage heading into the later stages of this game. And also the big benefit for Falcon is that they don't, again, need to be pushing the issue all that much. So it's inevitably going to be Smile that are going to have to push over, push forward, and in theory that gives the first shot over to Falcon. And again, snowballing the advantages.
Yeah, I mean, you can see now Robin over-peaking onto Vova here. He does know that there is a two-shot in front of him, and there is no tanks on the enemy team that can actually assist that CS-63. Yes, Vova does break 3k damage here, but it's going to be nothing more than a consolation prize at this point. As he does go down, Fluky follows to the garage. It's only 2 players remaining on the lineup of Smile, and that attack here on Prokhorovka that started off, I would say, fairly okay for them, completely falls apart after the heavy tanks on the 1-2 line get spotted. They are being pressured into a push they didn't want to do because the northeastern part was collapsing as well. Good first round here by Falcons. All right, round number 2 in between Smile and Falcons. Smile, the team currently trailing, coming into this one with a 60 TP double i7, double S-Conk, an STRV, so finally a TD and a T100 LT.
Yeah, not something that we see every day. Falcon, on the other hand, big setup, IS-7s across the board for 4 of them, E5 Superconk and CS63 to round out the house. It's a very standard lineup for Falcon, but from Smile, I wonder what we're going to get to see. I mean, STRV on the defensive Prokhorovka, you think, man, that is going to be awesome. Doesn't always tend to work that way, but it does look like a match made in heaven.
Yeah, exactly, and especially for random battles it is, as we do see the STRV going towards the A1 corner. He's going to set himself up a nice, cozy nest with all of the trees that he can fell there. But Falcons, they actually do have other plans. They're sending the triple I-7 hit squad towards northeastern part of the map, sort of in a power move, one might say, as Reflection, Jiangshan and Otto, all of them booking it towards the water. But there is actually a lot of the tanks by Smile that could punish if it gets spotted. Reflection, the first one to do so.
Yeah, this is going to be a bit scary. I mean, this is actually kind of what we saw GCAT doing, but they decided to turn around. In this case, Falcon are going to full send. There's your fire, there's your ignite back in the other direction, so I guess it's all fair. Reflection is very, very dead. Once you get tracked in a position like that, set on fire, damaged ammo rack, damaged engine, it's just, yeah, I mean, it's all she wrote really at that point, and certainly not enough damage done back in response from Falcon to...
On the other side, by the way, the T100 got spotted. Sebastian, not sure how.
Well, I mean, look, either way, I don't think it hugely matters at that point. The big important factor here for Falcon is that they need to find a way to equalize this scoreboard and bring it back to 6-6 very quickly, otherwise they're just going to lose this game.
Yeah, I mean, now on the minimap, you can actually see the rotation going on. The STRV being rotated towards A6, while the T100 is going to take control once again of that 1-2 line with the passive potential of just being a light tank on the 1-2 on Prokhorovka. Now, Smile, they have bled a lot as well, namely on the Doma here, who was very far pushed up, but he is actually able to go safe now. He should be fine for the time being, if not if Falcons don't take further positions.
Yeah, and that's kind of what's keeping Falcon in this discussion. The fact that they were able to do so much damage to Smile on that cross as well. It was definitely better focus fire from Smile. They are in an advantageous position by having been able to take down one of the tanks. But in terms of actual damage traded, well, Falcon's kind of right in there with that department. So again, this is why I say, like, it's really important for Falcon to get the next pick. If Falcon can get the next pick, bring it back to 6-6, the HP, even if it's at a bit of a deficit, is still going to be workable. But if the next kill goes the way of Smile, I mean, I think 5-on-7, you're really starting to grasp at straws trying to bring that one back.
Yeah, I mean, always keep in mind that Smile right now, they do still have the T100, and that, yes, that can be a big asset to have on that 1-2 line, but at the same time, it doesn't really contribute in terms of firepower, right? It's only like half of a gun, so realistically, we're seeing 6.5 versus 6 at the moment. That being said, though, the T100 is going to passively suppress the team of Falcons from doing any kind of action on that 1-2 line because they simply cannot risk getting spotted out early. We can see the E5 already in H1. He started second-guessing himself. Am I really still needed here? Should I be in this position? And now Ansha here in that CS63 is going to get rotated over. 2,250 HP on him, indicating that he does have purple HP with him. So not the full spotting build that you would normally need to outspot the T100. Then again, timing, sometimes bad timing can be bad, as a Frugo from the EU server usually says, and at that point in time the T100 doesn't really have a lot of armor or HP, so if he gets spotted out, that could be detrimental for Smile.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what the idea is going to be here for Falcon, because I'm really not seeing the avenue, right? If you push in the 7-8 line, try to break that hold, chances are you're kind of cooked, right? You're sitting in between a couple of IS-7s and a Super Conk as far as the crossfire is concerned. If you try to push the 1-2 line, well, it's an STRV and a Super Conk at the back of the map that are just going to farm you, and you're going to get outspotted by the T100 LT in theory. So it just feels like you're in a real pain position here as Falcon, especially considering you're already down a tank. You can't put anyone on either of these caps safely either, so where's the avenue? Where do you go? given that they've brought the CS63 over to the 1-2 line, I imagine that's going to end up being where they want to end up. But even then, if they somehow catch this T100 LT off, that's only just going to equalize it back at 6 apiece. And then you're probably sub 3 minutes trying to make a play onto one of the caps. It's a risky, difficult spot to be in here for Falcon. And hopefully they've got more ideas than I do.
Yeah, I mean, we spoke about it earlier. There's essentially two resources that people have in World of Tanks. One of them being HP and the other one is time. And currently, time is a ticking for Falcons here. They do currently concentrate their tanks here in the middle of Prokhorovka, but that in turn means that, you know, they won't have a lot of cover here. They'll have a lot of targets maybe to shoot at, but now Fender starting to get committed in that ISM already took a shot of damage, gets spotted out. Fluky in the hold-down position, a good second one, and Bova gets spotted on the cross. That is actually very, very good timing, but that is one healthy Supercon, and so far they aren't managing to take him out. Down to 1500 though, and in the northeastern part of the map, the skirmish has emerged as well.
They're just losing everywhere though. Like, yes, they're getting some damage down in mid, but they're giving up as much as they are. Over here on the northern side of the map, they're losing that fight. There's a CS63 pushing the 1-2 line, which if he spots out Bastion in the T100 LT, okay, yes, they might win that fight. That's about the only good point of the map right here for Falcon. You've seen that massive swing. Falcon actually had an HP advantage. It's gone back the other way. I think Smile wins from here.
The T100 actually managed to slip by the CS63. I don't think Ansha has any kind of idea that the T100 even is behind him. So the SRV is going to be farming the CS63 right now as he does go down. Fluky also with the pickup onto Fender. 3 unanswered kills here for the team of Smile from North America that did go down in round number 1, but now they're looking to equalize the scoreline. Otto getting double teamed by OP and one more I7 on his team. And Falcons are the ones that are going to be losing here. Smile is going to equalize it.
Yeah, as they like to say in North America, I think this one's Jova. There's really not a whole lot to write home about, unfortunately, for Falcons. They've just basically rock, paper, scissors themselves with that initial setup. Having Reflection go down so early is obviously not ideal. And they were never really able to recover, right? When you go down 6 on 7 so early in the round, it really limits your opportunities, especially against a STRV T100 LT setup, which is, you know, one of those where if you overstep, if you get yourself in the wrong spot, you're just going to get absolutely farmed. There's just so much DPM to deal with. So
I think that is one point, and the other point is that essentially as soon as Smile saw that Falcons were committing to the northeast part of the map, they could essentially split off that combo of the T100 and the SRV towards 1-2 line and hold the entire side of the map with just 2 tanks and focus 5 others on the other side. And at that point, the team of Falcons only had 6 left. So the best possible outcome for Falcons would have been a 6v5 overmatch, during which they would still have to overpush, and then in comes the SRV. So good stuff by Smile. In we go, round number 3 in between North America and China. It's going to be Smile against Falcon. Smile coming into this one with quadruple 60 TP, a single E5, and double mouse.
Well, one less 60 TP for Falcon, but double IS7, double VZ55. I don't think we've seen much of the VZ55 so far in this event, but it is the kind of tank that does get picked up every now and then on Tundra, so be interesting to see.
I mean, it should be highlighted that it did get picked a lot more during, basically before its nerf, and what was nerfed was essentially the gun handling in between. But right now, it seems to me like the VZs have been picked on attack, so I'm very, very curious as to what's going to happen. Robin here with that VZ, waiting for some kind of timing actually, but it doesn't seem to me that it's really happening. We have to see if Lop actually does get spotted out. There he is. Is Robin going to connect those shots? Doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, I mean, he gets spotted as well, so he's just going to have to move back. What a bad shout in terms of the idea. Shots are not connecting. HR tossed one in. Robin, another.
I mean, Lop is going to be counting his stars. He should not be full HP at this point. But other than that, I guess a good initial lineup by Smile here. They're starting off with 2,000 HP more. That is what having 2 mouses does for you.
Well, plus an extra 60 TP on the top there as well, so it definitely does not hurt. Yeah, this is a difficult nut to crack for Falcon. Doesn't look like they're going to be putting their eggs in one basket just yet. More than happy to spread across the map, have a bit of a look, see what they're going to get.
I mean, essentially what we're seeing here is a team with 6 super heavy tanks plus 1 heavy that is doing DPM with the E5, playing against a team with double autoloader, triple super heavy, and then semi-mobile heavy tank with that double IS-7. So essentially Falcon, right now, they cannot commit too closely against the team of Smile, because if they do that, then Smile is just going to spring the obvious trap, activate the no U trap card, and then they're just going to press W on towards the team of Falcons, and then they're just going to snowball them down with superior HP and obviously superior DPM due to the double autoloader that is going to burst out nicely for 1k each if they even manage to pen all shots, but then they're going to be essentially useless for 20 seconds. So
yeah,
Falcons, they need to get damage done before they're able to commit.
So far they're not doing a great job of that, are they?
Well, no. 0 damage taken across the board for both teams. Caster Curse coming into full effect though. OP taking the first one.
Yeah, I mean, look, you've still got a fair bit to play with if you're more than happy to sort of keep that health advantage for Smile. They can afford to eat probably another 2-3 shots, maybe 4 shots even. And so Falcon have a lot of HP to chunk through here. But they are very much setting themselves up for a southern push, a push toward the 2 flag. The issue for me is that Smile seem to be anticipating that. They've definitely got tanks in position that can do damage on the cross. Ooh. There is a very good shot, though, from HR into the side of Lop.
And now we do see the push forming up for Falcons here in the south on the J and K line. Double VZ, double IS-7, a singular 60 TP that is going to get reinforced by a second one. There is only a single tank out of game for Falcons. 60 TP on the Overlook, not exactly sure how good that one is going to be as a sniper moving on out. But first of all, we'll have to wait and see how much damage gets taken on that cross here. And now, Reflection, Robin, Jiangshan, they all get spotted. Robin immediately takes 2 shots of damage, but other than that, the punish actually quite bad. A lot of bounced shots.
Yes, a lot of bounces off Jiangshan. I mean, look, the VZ55 took a little bit of damage there, but generally speaking, I think Falcon will be pretty happy with that. 60 TPs here on the backside, going to be held at bay by Ansha in the IS-7. And we'll wait and see what the response is going to look like from Smile here. They've got about 30 seconds or so to figure out what that's going to be. Otherwise, that cap timer is going to really be starting to put some pressure on. So moves are going to have to be made. But I have to say, Falcon have done a pretty good job so far. And that is some huge damage. Fluky was not expecting that. 2.1k for the cross. And that screams not worth to me.
I mean, that essentially is the equivalent of walking into a crossbar face first here. 15 seconds remaining on the cap, and for OP once again it's going to be a flashback here as he does drive through the one line with that 60 TP together with reset? Fly. 6 seconds remaining here. Smile, they're going to get the resets. HE shells blasting past. Fly is going to make it, and the reset does come in, but at what cost is the question?
That's a very good question indeed. It is a 1-for-1 trade, but Fly is definitely down to a 1-shot at this point, and Archer is aware of it. The IS-7 pushing its way forward. E5 certainly dead in the water. Reflection wants to follow suit with that VZ55, but will be keeping those 2 shells in the back pocket for OP. Hacker ideally might end up having to get the kill onto Fly. Surely you're just leaving this one to Ansha at this point, but it's gone a little bit wrong there for Falcon. They've messed up, they've whiffed a little bit, they've bounced a little bit, they've given up an extra tank. Still though, they had enough of a lead that it's kind of looking like it should still be their round.
I mean, the HP kind of close again, but 5 against 4 guns here and a lot of HP to work with still for either team as Dodoma takes another big one. But there is a 2v1 that is currently being found by the team of Falcons exactly on this one line here. It's Ansha, it's Jiangshan, and both of them are driving towards OP. The first high roll in towards that 60 TP is going to reduce him towards a 1-shot, and now the Ram is going to secure the 1-shot potential as Jiangshan the one to pick it up, reducing OP Hacker to just a smoldering wreck, and all of a sudden the tanks of Smile, only 3 remaining, and the hungry sharks that are called Falcons still are going to be looking to close out round number 3.
Yeah, 3k damage from Jiangshan in the IS-7, not a bad shout. Otto, bit of a whiff there onto Lop in the mouse, jumping down the hillside, but generally speaking, with 2 minutes left on the clock, all 3 of the tanks here from Smile stuck in the same vicinity. You'd have to say this should be Falcon every day of the week. Otto going to cross, get that finishing blow onto Lop, and in the meanwhile, really it is just Dodoma and Bastion trying to hold on for dear life, but they'd have to hold on for over a minute and a half, and it really is not going to happen. part of the issue is that Fender's on the backside there as well, and getting cross shots, even though he's down on 7 HP, is still being a factor, is still keeping those guys stuck in position, and there's just nothing that Smile can do at this point.
I mean, also the amount of missed, of bounced, of crit shots here currently is not doing the team of Smile a favor. That was well played by the team of Falcons, but I think both teams with a lot of potential for betterment. Last chance for Smile here to make it against the match point by Falcons, who are coming into Tundra game number 2 with a 277, and that is 4 60 TPs and double VZ.
Yeah, another double VZ setup, so they used it very nicely in the last round. Why not bring it back? Quad 60 TP as well for Smile IS7s, and then the Superconk to round it out. It's again a little bit more standard, I guess you would have to say, from Smile, but you know, I'm up for something a little bit different. If Falcon are going to be able to execute it as well as they did in the previous round, then I have no reason to question it.
I mean, I'm digging the doubles VZ, actually. It's kind of old school. Normally, you would expect it to go to like DE, sort of 2-3 positions to punish the cross in the south. That is not going to be the case, however. Instead, they're going to be sent towards D4. And for Smile, it's kind of a one-dimensional attack. Not that that is necessarily a bad thing. Having all of your guns concentrated in one part of the map means that you're going to be able to snowball down the opposing tanks that are going to be meeting you fairly soon. Smile also starting off with 1,200 and I guess a bit more than 80 HP. I guess some ramming going on there. The IS-7 not completely full. Doesn't really matter though, as the Doma gets spotted here in the south, and this means that Falcons will have to react already. A shot of damage taken by the Doma.
Yeah, but if it's only the one shot, then that's not going to be too bad for Smile. Whether or not they continue, that's the next question, but they've decided to set up with 3 on the cap, and this is going to have to force a very prompt response from Falcon. What I will say though is that they've got tanks in positions to get resets. Otto in particular, this is the perfect spot to be able to farm some resets, and it kind of puts a bit of a blocker in the plan of Smile.
Yeah, I mean, 20 seconds though, and that 277 is actually not the most quickly reloading tank. I'm not sure if that shot connected.
It did.
It did, but now they do realize that they are not going to be able to cap out this one. And now Jiangshan actually in kind of a predicament. He has to drive back because of all of the tanks that are hurrying towards him. Does take one on the cross away. Is probably going to take a second one by Dodoma here, but is going to make it out for now. Another one by Fluky.
Yeah, it's a good shot around the corner from Fluky. Sometimes those ones are a little bit tough to connect, but good pre-aim, and gets a sizable amount of damage onto Jiangshan before he inevitably does get back to the relative safety of his team. But it has to be said, again, in terms of overall trades, Falcon are actually doing a pretty good job here, keeping it relatively even. Yes, they're still a little bit behind in terms of HP, but remembering, of course, Smile came in with a little bit more. The only negative I would have to say is that, again, Smile have probably had a little bit better focus fire there with all their damage going into Jiangshan, whereas Falcon a little bit more split. HR now is going to be the focus of fire, and it really feels at the moment like Smile are kind of wolf-packing their way around the map, trying to find these isolated tanks and doing a pretty good job of that, and Falcon haven't really come up with a response.
Yeah, I mean, HR currently split up from the entirety of the rest of his team, taking 1,100 to the face. Is going to get pushed off here by the opposing 60 TP currently, just removing him from the game effectively right now. That means that now, Vova though, taking a big one by Jiangshan. Retaliation immediate, 434 on that 60 TP. And now I think Falcon are coming in with the counterattack at cap number 2.
Yeah, it might be a little bit too little too late. They have really bled a lot of HP, though they have been able to take down Fly. So yes, HP deficit, but they have got the tank advantage, and the longer that persists, the better this is going to get for the Chinese squad. It's just a case of ensuring that they can hold on to these low HP guys. Jiangshan looks relatively safe on the other side of the bridge. Reflection in the VZ55 might find it a little bit more difficult to get involved in this game, but this is very tight. This is a fight that could be won on either side still.
Yeah, exactly. 6 versus 7 guns, but taking a look at the HP bars, Falcons have done a much better job of conserving HP on every single tank. That being said, though, a lot of them starting to take damage, but still OP.
Wova's dead, surely.
Vova, we'll have to see there. I think he's trying to get into the cover. He should be able to make it away, but HR once again
Bounce
on the
one.
other side of the map. He is still that nuisance from there, the one that puts the crossfire, the one that turns the turrets away.
Yeah, where's HR going to go? Is there even a safe avenue for him to push forward? Otto is getting flanked by OP Hacker, or is he in fact the one that's going to be causing the problem? There we go. Vova eventually does fall to HR. It really did feel like it was an inevitability. It was a matter of time, and the same can be said for this engagement down at the bottom of our screen. Otto in the 277 should not have any difficulties necessarily dealing with the 60 TP of OP Hacker, and that would be then the third attack down for Smile. 3k damage up for a couple of members, one on either side. Ansha still alive, and if you could get one more shot off from that 60 TP, it would be absolutely massive. Dodoma bouncing a shot off a Fender. Fluky with one into the wall. That is not good. The pressure is getting to Smile.
Yeah, the pressure is indeed getting to Smile. There's only 4 players remaining for the squad from North America.
He got one in.
Fluky does finally find the first kill for his team, but it is too little. It is too late as OP gets reduced to ashes as well. Reflection dropping in turn towards Fluky, and the HP, yes, they are very, very low for Falcon, but the tanks are simply not there. Sebastian is just about to get shot down, and Falcons are going to stay alive in the upper bracket for tomorrow. For Smile, they'll have to be relegated down, and they have to wait and see what happens.